So, welcome to an episode of The Vault, which is a look behind the scenes of building a sprint agency. So, today I want to talk about how we've managed to shave about 2 days off our sales process by just introducing a little bit of a tool. We built a little bit of a tool to help us with our discovery call and just get really clear. So, after that hour, we can just have some real upfront value for the client, even if they don't want to proceed or if they're kind of and ahhing on the fence or trying to work out a bit of clarity. This really helps them, and we found it speeds it up. So if you're building an agency, this might be of value to you. Let's go through it. So essentially, just a little V0 tool we built. So we've done enough sprints now that we kind of really know what we're solving and where we're at, and we break it down to 4 gaps. So kind of verbal, visual, toolkit, and vision. These 12 problems roughly are, maybe you'd word it slightly differently, but this is what our agency does. We do 2 types of sprints. So we have a brand push and a brand new. Pretty self-explanatory, but brand push enhances and enriches what you already have. Brand new is an opportunity to kind of rebuild, restart. Maybe what got you to here won't get you to where you're going. So an opportunity to maybe reposition. We mostly work people around about that Series A early stage phase, about to build out the team, mostly with software, mostly SaaS, mostly now kind of AI powered as well, because that's sort of our background. And so this stuff won't work for burger vans or something like that. But in the space that we're in with the clients we're talking to, these 12 things really help. So I'll go through them. So this tool, basically, essentially, as you can see, a verbal thing. If they want to have messaging for every context, they might be like, yeah, we really want to be able to show up on LinkedIn. We really want to show up on socials. We want to show up on a website, and we want it to be all consistent. Then that might be a high priority, right? Campaign ready, copy that converts. That we actually do 10-day sprints and 5-day sprints. So after you've worked with us on a push or a new, we can then help you on your next rung. So maybe you want to do some 30 days of content. Maybe you want to do some ads and you want to, kind of test some stuff, and we can build you all those bits for that. Maybe there's quite a few things after that. So campaign ready might be a medium priority. Clear positioning, rally cry. This is, we appreciate 10 days is short in terms of people's heads. Obviously, what we're doing is just taking 2 days a week that you'd work on in a traditional agency format, whilst also juggling other jobs, getting rid of everything in between and smushing it together so we can do 6 weeks and 10 days in which just 8 to 10 hours intensive. We immerse ourselves. We don't do any clients, we don't toggle any clients. Just Josh and I are on the one client, completely kind of living and breathing that, which is why we were able to do a phenomenal amount of work in 10 days. But for instance, a clear positioning, we have a verbal section. So it's just like unifying creative statement, a little bit of a verbal positioning, kind of offer statements, so on and so forth. And that can be really important. We also appreciate that they might change, but we want to give them the structure that if, meetings that have to happen maybe with leadership, or rooms we're not going to be in 10 days time, we want to give them the stuff so they can be like, hey, so we've been tuning on this stuff, or this feels quite fun, or we're kind of coming together on these ideas. So as I say, we hand over the guidelines. So if you want to tweak some words here or there as the verbal kind of evolves, you can do that, because it's not a dead PDF. It's a live Figma fully operational thing that is all built on the same rails. So that would be important. So let's say that's a medium, probably usually quite high on that. So in visual, so obviously completed visual identity in Figma. Everybody wants a fully functional, fully working top to bottom Figma guidelines. We build that, and then we hand over, we literally change the kind of links, and you get ownership of the Figma file. And the guidelines are built in the Figma. All of the work is in Figma. All of our work boards are in Figma. So everything's there. We show kind of all of our not workings. Obviously you do the 80-20. We have an internal, and then we show the 20. But all the stuff that was really of value throughout the sprint is there as well for people, and that's a really important thing, because obviously we're moving very fast, and people want to kind of have all the stuff. They're not afraid they're going to miss anything behind, because it's quite a psychological shift to try and work that fast, especially if you've been a bit more in a bigger agency and things move a bit slower here and there, or just kind of traditional anything. We're in the new age now. So a lot of that, from a Figma perspective, you're like, yeah, we can do this because we build here, we build here. It's all about reducing that time. Photography and kind of content direction. we're in the world now where we can also deliver Mid-Journey references. So we can build Mid-Journey references, but it's not just kind of the crazy, sparkly Mid-Journey stuff you see on Twitter and stuff. We're also getting pretty good at generating kind of lifestyle stuff and very more, clean stuff. We've got a project coming out soon that's it's all Mid-Journey, but you wouldn't know. And we also do a 5-day where we can just specifically build a image library Mid-Journey prompt for customers. That can be really important, but at the same time, we can also, we appreciate that might be a bit overwhelming for a team that's just building out a Series A. You might not have a kind of specialist in that department. So we can also, set you up with 12 key visual images that will allow you to tell your story from product marketing to brand marketing and at least give you a kind of ballpark. So that's often a real important thing. And then design and repeatable layouts. Obviously, because we're building in Figma, working in Figma and delivering in Figma, we have everything we build on grids at size. And then obviously we component them and then have them in we have a best practices section. So if they see something in the guidelines, they can just click it, go to it, and they've got it. So your VP of product who might understand Figma but might not be a designer can change some copy, export PNG, put it in LinkedIn immediately. Or the more designer people can see that as a bit of an inspiration, or they can kind of see how it's built and then build their own. And we do a lot of like handover looms around to help people do that. That's definitely always a kind of a big win. And then toolkit, so like practical and kind of systemized guidance, speed up creation. Obviously, it's all about increasing output, consistency, governing people on idea at scale. So that's it's a no-brainer. Like if you're getting a guideline done this time, you want to push the brand, but you also want it to get used in a way that works and allows you to kind of increase output because content is the game at the moment. And then, channel specific best practices. It's just understanding where they exist. So some people are really into webinars. Some people are really into LinkedIn leadership content. Some people are really into kind of carousel deep dives and just understanding what that is. Because some of those things are achievable. Some of those things we kind of give like a 10,000 foot of like, this is how we do it. Take all these bits. Here's some best practices. But obviously if they're like, no, we need to build a month of content, and that's like a 5-day individual sprint that we would do after the push. Or if they're like, we need this keynote, we do a lot of keynotes or we do a lot of presentations, then that would obviously be a separate build. We can't, we are bound by physics to a degree. So understanding that, so let's say that's kind of a medium thing for some people because they kind of want to just get a hold on the full brand, and then maybe that's a later down the line 5-day sprint as we partner long term. And then team alignment before you scale. So let's say you're at Series A and you're starting to build out a team, probably going to get a VP marketing or at least director level marketing. They're going to then start to bring in teams, probably more contractors and third party people. And there is an onboarding uptick in that area. I've been one of those people, we've been contractors and freelancers before we were agency builders. And you have to come up to speed really quickly. And the ones that win is people who have got really clear dialed kind of one pages almost, or like little sections. So in the guidelines, we have a verbal section, which is like a verbal snapshot. We also have like a visual snapshot. We have the best practices, just to be like, this is how we operate. This is how to do it. And then rather than it be a flat PDF, they can then just click in that and then go to the component library or go to the best practices section and take that. So the designs are ready to go, built by us, ready to go, that they can then start to at least kind of iterate before they innovate, for want of a better phrase. So usually that's really important too. And then vision, obviously vision's one of those things. We obviously do a workshop at the start, which is a 3-hour workshop. So we get to kind of have a creative superposition and kind of future cast a lot of these things. But we appreciate that, we're moving to very quickly. It's like naming your child. If you think about it for a while, and some of these like words and phrases and directions, general direction of that goal versus that goal, we just want to create a horizon that has some big pillars that people are excited about, and kind of be like, let's nudge in this direction, let's nudge in that direction. But some people from like a specific vision, they're like, right, we got a big thing, we want to build, we want to go. So we've got this big idea, big strategy, and we want to be ready to go in 10 days. So we can help on that. Maybe that's a medium thing. And then from a vision from like an internal rather than an external facing content thing, like recruiting and credibility. Like if let's say you're a VC firm building out a vertical, say you're a, kind of SaaS that's again at Series A and building out a team, you want to attract great talent. Game recognizes game. So if you look like a kind of cheap little dev tool that was built using $10 of Lovable credits, you're not going to attract the kind of top talent, and they'll know. So understanding what the goal is if it's, they want to be very much focused at employee attraction is good, because it does change like what we're talking about. We're not maybe doing the product marketing side of things. We're actually building out more of the kind of big picture vision, come work with us, hey, we want to change the world vibes. So that can be maybe a medium. And then permission to show up bigger is just sometimes like more if we're talking to maybe it's the CEO or founders on the call, or like C-level rather than say a director or something. If it's like permission to show up bigger, just that transitional phase of you're actually like, oh wow, I think we're finding product market fit, and we want to show up. We want to show up like the big dogs, but we are currently an underdog, and just kind of understanding how we can look less like a off-the-shelf package thing, and kind of start to tell their stories, start to show up as a bit of a leader in the category, be a bit more noisy, be a bit more vocal, have some beautiful design, start to really play with that. It's a great time for design. It's a great time for content. It's a great time there's a real want for it. And some people that's more of a mindset thing. If you come from like an ops or a dev, or if you're a crow guy and then you're building something, or if you're a technical founder, sometimes this stuff has maybe not been on the cards until now. So permission to understand how building brand and how building that kind of stuff is important. So that's quite big, but we'll put it as a medium. So let's say recruiting was not important. So now say over a 45-minute call, we've now chatted through all of these things. It's not, obviously maybe they've said a few things, but usually it's one of these. It's always one of these, to be honest. And then we jump off the call. I go basically down here. I take this little copy. So then after the call, we say, thanks very much. And I go, hi, Brian, great to chat, and then essentially paste that below. And everything we've spoken about is in with a high priority, a medium priority, and a low priority. So I send that to them immediately after the call. We try and book in another thing. So even if they don't want to work with us, they've got immediate value. They've got a little bit of clarity. Some people might say it's free consulting, but at the same time, we don't want to waste our time, because our sales process is we're trying to get it under 20, but it's between 20 and 25 days. We're a 15K to 20K package that requires a few conversations, a few things they have to see, behind the scenes. They want to see what they're actually buying. It's not a $200 thing where you can close it in a call. Like, you have to understand that there are certain things, but what we found is if we do this initially, then they're really clear on what we're selling. And so the next call, when we kind of go, we're an open book, that's when we show them behind the scenes. We show them case studies. We don't just show the kind of flat images. We go in and show them like, look, this is the component library. This is what happens. This is what you get. And that also combined with this shaves off a couple of days, definitely, in kind of, even if it's more that abstract umming and ahhing. So if you're building an agency, I would recommend building something like this, because it is really helpful. And obviously, if you're watching this and you're in software and you're looking to work quickly, then obviously Brand Sprint's the way to do it, and we're the best. So cheers.